Some of the strategies that we're going to cover is going to be, well, it's going to be strategy, marketing, and sales. Employee disengagement. Even ourselves, right? Number one reason for being disengaged in our work environment is going to be because of money, right? If it all boils down to money and how can we structure our employees, or first of all structure ourselves in order to become more successful, and not only with money but with the knowledge as well, because the knowledge brings in the money in order to grow and to help our communities. One of the things that this is going to be the ultimate cause of disengagement is financial illiteracy at every level, and that's the major reason for disengagement. Who here thinks that if they get paid more, they would be more engaged, right? I think so. You believe so, right? So national disengagement almost matches exactly the number of people who live paycheck to paycheck. So as we can see, 53% of the population lives paycheck to paycheck pretty much. 30% are engaged, and then 17% are actively engaged. So if you look at the workforce, there's a whole bunch of, it's because we never really get taught how to work our money, right? We always get our earned income, and then that's where we spend our earned income. We never get taught to have our earned income, invest it, and then spend our cash flow or our passive income, right? 76% of people live paycheck to paycheck. 64% have no money in savings. 90% have no clue the biggest expense in the household. Who knows here what's the biggest expense in the household? Mortgage? Any other ones?
The wife.
The wife? Food, groceries, anything else? Taxes is your biggest expense in a household, and that's something that we never really look into, right? And then there's strategies, obviously, where we could take, even though if you're employed by somebody, you could still open up an LLC, and there's strategies to take deductions whether it's going to be your car, a home office, real estate, and other expenses as well, your fuel, meals, entertainment. According to CNBC, 94% fail financial literacy quiz. 67% of Americans can't pass a basic finance test. 10% of Americans collect 50% of all income. That's why there's only a certain percentage, right? The 1%ers, they call them. 10% of Americans own 84% of the wealth. That's pretty strong. Let's skip on that one. Did you guys bring a notebook? No notebooks? No. Pens? If you could write down how much, on your notes, write down how much do you make? What is your biggest expense? How much are your withholdings? And how much money do you have in the bank? Take a minute to write those answers down so we could see if we have an understanding of where we stand. Necesitamos un DJ.
Going based on weekly? Monthly?
It could be yearly. It'll probably be after your paycheck. Okay. Yeah, because that one's there's still money that you're keeping or you're investing, better said. Withholding? Lo que te como de los taxes. Everybody good? So who here knows how to read a financial statement? 1, 2, 3, 4. So one of the things that we cover here is okay, if you break it down, it's going to be our revenue, cost of goods sold, our expenses, and then it'll give us our net operating income, right? So in a business, that's what we're looking for most of the time, is what is our net operating income. What I've seen throughout the past, and then, for example, I could use my family, they always focus on expenses. Where can we cut down expenses? Where can we cut down expenses? But in reality, what's the lowest physical number where you could take expenses to?
0.
So 0 is the smallest number we could take expenses to. And what's the highest number that we could do in revenue?
Limitless.
It's limitless, right? So there's no cap on how much revenue. It's all about strategy, marketing, and sales, right? So financial truths is whatever you don't talk about, you will have problems with. A lot of people don't talk about money. They don't talk about politics. They don't talk about insurance. They don't talk about loans, houses, mortgages. Yeah. And then if you want more money, you must educate your people about money. So a lot of us here don't have any employees, but what are we talking to with our families whenever we go home? Do you talk to your kids? Do you talk to your spouse? Do you talk to your neighbors? The closest people that you touch on a daily basis. Money is abundant and without limitations. So even if, for example, if we were to look around us, if you were to stand outside and count how much money is there out there, how much money do you think you could count? Just right here, if you think about it, the outside part, how much money is out there? All right, there's buildings that are probably paid off, there's cars, there's streets, There's a bunch of people working. So do you want to attract good people and keep great people? In order to attract people and to keep them, obviously you gotta make them have a good income, right? And obviously, because if you as an employee you're disengaged while being employed, what makes you think that it's not going to be the opposite whenever you employ somebody and they're not making the right amount of money? So that's why it's important to have, like, for example, in our organization, like, for example, like in the tire store, we look at your personal, professional, and financial goals to see, like, hey, what's a professional goal of yours? So, for example, Mr. Charles, what's a professional goal of yours?
I mean, to be the head, to be somebody that people look up to look for the answers, you know what I mean? To lead a group or a crew, or you know what I mean?
To lead a group or a crew. And what are your personal goals?
Why are you always asking me stuff? Personal goals, I mean, just you know, just have a good relationship with my family, you know, be happy with myself, you know, stay adventurous, you know, just different things in the country I'd like to see, stuff like that. You know?
And what are your financial goals?
Financial goals, just to keep doing better than last year, you know what I mean? Keep making more than I did last year every year.
How much did you make last year?
Wasn't a whole lot, maybe like 60.
60?
60 last year, yeah.
Okay, so if you make 61, that'd be great.
No,
you need more?
yeah.
Right, so we always got to put a number to it because we're vague about it, and it's sometimes it's very hard, or people take it very personal whenever they ask you, like, hey, what's your goal for this year? How much money do you want to make?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
How much money do I want to make? More than the same thing, more than last year.
More than last year? Well, how much is more than last year?
165.
165? Okay. How about yourself?
To get through 6 figures this year.
100,000? At least? You got to put a number to it. It could be 999,000, or it could be 100, right?
So I have a monthly goal of
14 grand, which is equivalent to 196,000?
No.
Well, we got to be
Is it
clear.
quick to that, be sure?
We got to be clear on our numbers.
168.
168. Well, 199 sounds better.
Yeah.
How about yourself? What's your goal?
That's a lot. I gotta make at least 300,000-400,000 this year.
300,000-400,000 this year? How about yourself?
About 500.
About 500? Okay. How about yourself?
I want me, my family, and everybody that I care for to live for free and to show how to do it.
And how much is it going to cost you?
Probably 3 years of my life, but I can do it.
3 years of your life. And how much money?
Well, 50, 60, 70 properties.
50, 60, 70, but income-wise?
How much
What are you
is it
thinking?
gonna cost me?
Like on a yearly basis?
Well, it depends. I'm trying to not make it like my money. I want to figure out to make it 100% finance.
So if you were to have cash flow, how much money in cash flow would you need in order to support all of your family?
It's probably gonna be like 200,000.
200,000 a year?
Also, but you also have to keep in mind everything that all those properties are making. So have the jobs.
Okay. How about yourself, Mr. Tony?
Dude, the million mark.
Million mark. So you gotta think about it. Million mark in a year. How about yourself, Ms. Veronica?
Hit the million.
How much? You're gonna take the million? Todo. How about you, Miss Jasmine?
150?
150?
Yes, sir.
Clear, net? How about you, Mr. Zander?
I wanna do 50.
You wanna do 50?
Yep. Still in college.
I told you to quit. I'm like, bro, you.
50 this year, 100 next year.
How about you, Mr. Hugo?
200 and 400.
3? 300? $3? 3 million?
Good job.
That's all. Mr. Pollo?
Liquid, $500,000.
Liquid, $500,000. What do you want a liquid for? What is it gonna do? Is it just gonna be there? What is it?
After paying everything, just
But you see, it's kind of weird. Like whenever you get put in that spot where they ask you, like, "Hey, how much money you want to make?" We know that there's going to our financial statement. There's no limit, but yet we still put a limit to ourselves, right? We still cap ourselves where it's like, "Oh, well, I don't know if it's because we're surrounded by others and be like, oh, I'm scared to say that I want to make $125 million in a year."
Yeah, we want to sound realistic.
You want to sound realistic, right?
We want to be fantastical, like what we really want, you know?
Yeah.
Also, what you have to back it up with what it's gonna take for you to do that.
True.
You know, because
Be
yeah,
realistic.
I'd also like to make $1 million. Do I have the?
Do what kind?
The jar with the cap, the lid.
I don't know what it is.
And they put,
Well, for-
insects that jump and they put a cap on them.
Oh,
I remember
ticks.
that.
Yeah.
And then?
Heard this before?
Dawson told us.
I was asleep. Go ahead, tell us. Tell the story.
So
you put like a tick, right, that can jump like super high in a jar. You put a cap on them, right? They have babies and everything, and they keep it there. When you take off the cap, they'll never leave, because that's the only thing that they can jump as high as. Even though it's 10 times that they can actually, they're capable of doing.
They limit themselves. Yeah.
They limit themselves just because of the cap.
That's what they're used to.
It's a mindset.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it comes back to a mindset. If you put a cap on yourself, what is realistic? I don't know. Jeff Bezos, are those realistic? He had a vision, right? But he thought way big. So it just comes back to, what are you capable of? What are you capable of? I mean, what's the difference between you and Jeff
Yeah.
Bezos?
He's a person just like us. You know what I mean?
He has
He
24
puts-
hours,
Right, no?
same person.
Just a quick question. Was there holes in this jar?
What do you mean is there holes in this jar?
Yeah, what if the ticks can't breathe?
Well, they get suffocated.
It made me think, I was like, hold on.
Yeah, because we put a cap, right? So
I was thinking that too, though.
let's break down the $1 million mark, right? Everybody should leave out of here saying, hey, I'm gonna make $1 million. It's really easy. All you have to do is take $1 million and then you divide that by 12 months. Let's pull out our calculators.
Wow.
83.
83,000,
333 per month.
33 a month. Out of those 33, there's 30 days in a month. So how much is that?
2,777.
2,777 a day. And then out of those $2,777 a day, how much is that? Divided by 24 hours,
115.
$115 an hour. Divided by 60 minutes,
182.
182.
92.
What, $1.92?
Yeah.
So all we need is $1.92 a minute for a year in order to make $1 million. So now let's translate it into, like, for example, what do you do moving? So for example, what's your average ticket?
I have moves from $2,000 to $20,000,
2,000 to 20,000, but what's your most common one? So if you were to average about
5,000, 6,000.
6,000, so we'll take the 5,000. So we're gonna do $1 million, and then we're gonna look for $5,000 tickets. How much is that?
Is that about 5,000?
Yeah. So 200. So we need 200 tickets in a year divided by 12 months.
16.6.
We're gonna go 16.6
6.
a month moves, which is equivalent to what, maybe one every 2 days, divided by 26 days that you want to take a.
Yeah, but you still have like $30,000 a month of insurance and expenses.
Well, that's what you need to add it in, right? So for example, if you're doing 50, you're 5,000 and you're applying, what percentage rate of the 5,000 goes into your overhead?
I don't do it like that. I just do like I put everything together, and then I just deduct.
So what's your annual
expenses.
So what's your annual expense?
My annual income's
Expense.
expense. I don't have it with me, at the point, but I have at least 30,000 a month of expenses.
$30,000 a month in expenses.
That's
So
insurance and just insurance and truck payments and stuff like that.
so in $1 million, and then what's 30 times 12? $360,000. So what we need to do is we're gonna $1,360,000 in sales will get you a net $1 million. Is that what we're saying, right?
Or less.
So then if we're doing it divided by 5,000, how much is that?
272,000.
How much?
272,000.
No.
272.
272, right?
Yes.
Moves.
Oh,
And then that's gonna be a year divided by 12.
22.6.
23 moves a month, and then 23 moves a month divided by 26 days. So it's basically one move every day that is equivalent to $5,000. So one move for at $5,000 will give us $1,360,000. 360 goes into your expenses, and about $1,000. $1 million goes into your net. So the question is, how do you do one move? This is where we do. Basically, here what we're doing is we're strategizing. Okay, I want to net $1 million. I know that I have $360,000 in expenses. I need at least one move for $5,000. So what is your ideal customer? Say, for example, you have a customer right here, right? The guy that pays $5,000, what does he look like?
It'd be just anybody, somebody that's just moving from here to Dallas, a small little apartment.
So he's a mover?
It'd be like like somebody that works at a Starbucks that's getting a new job in Dallas.
Starbucks or a corporate job?
A small corporate job.
What else?
Military moves.
Military?
Military's a lot of military, but military's like, they only have a cap.
So we got to look at it and say, hey, you know what? Is there one person that moves out of El Paso on a daily basis? Right? So
It's hard right now in the market right now. El Paso is one of the hardest market right now. Everybody's moving into El Paso. Nobody's moving out. There's a lot of that, so that's a little bit hard. And that's why my company, I'm picking up loads all over the United States, not just El Paso. If I would just do El Paso, New Mexico. You know?
But you see, we're making excuses for ourselves.
No,
We know that there's at least one person that moves out of El Paso that will pay $5,000. So how do you capture the market share? That's what I'm trying to get
the
to.
problem is you buy Google ads, you buy ads like that, but all the big companies are buying those ads, you know, and they suck them up. And you got leads, that you buy leads, but all the companies, they sell you one lead and they sell it to 20 companies. So the best way to do it is have your own website or your own company and target that client directly to the client. You know what I mean?
Well, that's easy. You don't need to.
And it seems easy, but it's
So have you ever tried? So let's brainstorm a little bit more. So we were basically looking for people that move, right?
yes.
And what do people that move have in common?
Well, they're selling their house.
They're selling their house?
We started calling brokers and calling them, you know, try to network more with local networks. Yeah, people in California. Well, I mean, I'm getting a lot of moves from out of state. You know, I do a lot of work here, but most of my work is out because it's the same thing. But I get one move that they pay $20,000 sometimes. You know, $10,000. No, some old man that's moving back to their parents, back to their family, back to New York or down to Miami. A lot of people are moving to Atlanta, Miami, North Carolina, and New York a little bit. But most of the people are moving down to. Everybody's moving down right now, North Carolina and Florida.
So you basically have 3,292 people that need to move. Right there. I'm giving you 3,292 leads. But yeah, we're still not willing to do the work. We're like, hey, you know what? Mr. Customer, I know that you're selling your house. If you're interested in our moving services, let us know. That's all it is. Because we're stuck in the idea that, hey, you know what? We need to run ads. We need to go through Google. We need to go through Facebook. Instead of like they're giving us the address.
It's sad that everybody's taking all the big market, like all the big corporations, companies, they're the ones doing all the big advertising. Sure, the ones doing, like I'm doing one out of 10 moves that I'm doing right now. I'm doing one mine. Because the rest, our brokers are buying the leads and getting the jobs and then giving it to me.
But how many
So
how many direct contacts are you having with these people?
nothing.
None. So you're missing 3,292 opportunities there.
Alright.
So I mean, and it's just very visible.
Go knocking doors.
Just having a sales team,
Sales
not even knocking doors. The better part would be just calling them.
Yeah.
So there's systems and ways that you could call them. Say for example, we could pull up a property address, and then with the property address, we can get the owner's information, we can get the phone number, we can get their email, we can get
Exactly.
their spouse, they can get your brothers, sisters, and all that good stuff.
You just call them. You just go on sell, and get their information and email them. We've been doing, my brother owns a local company here in El Paso, and what he does, he's calling all the people that, he has one person calling all the people that are selling their house. So he calls them up, hey, you know what, whenever you need to move, we'll move you out. And that's been working a little bit. He got a couple of jobs like that last year. So he's been implementing that, and it's been working for him for a little bit, you know. Like I don't do local moves. All my moves I do is out of state.
So property. Oh shit! I was looking for the address over there, but I'm looking. Let's pick up this one. 10829 Vista Loma. 10829 Vista Lomas. Boom.
I think the best, a good way to advertise would be like, be calling these people and have like a 1-800 number. And if they need to sell their house, if they need to buy their house, you know, create something that we could do something together, sell them the house, move them in, move them out, and get the client. That'd be awesome.
So this is not the guy. This one's on Western Skis, but we got 3 options right here. Vista Lomas. Boom. Call him. You want to call him?
Yeah.
Or call him? You're not gonna call him?
Yeah.
Let's call him. 915 383 1320.
You know, right now?
Hey, Mr. Acosta. This is Jerry. I was wondering.
What's the number? 915?
915 383 1320.
1320.
Mr. Acosta.
Hey, he's like, if he doesn't want it, I'll get it.
We get a split, we get a split of this
Let me get a split.
I'll take you out for lunch.
Yeah, he's already got him in the back.
You know, Miss Acosta?
Put him on speaker.
Oh, no, wrong number? Oh, I'm so sorry.
Are you moving by chance?
All right.
Are you moving by chance? Are you moving by chance?
She said, oh.
You wanna buy a house? You wanna sell a house?
All right, try this one. 503-6344. 6344. But put him on speaker. We want to hear the chisme. Mr. Acosta, but we gotta have. This is where we come in. We're not structured. It's ringing.
You should have called them a different number because it's both numbers are there.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
So whenever they don't answer, what do we do?
Is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up.
Send them a text message.
We call him twice and send him a text message.
So
And then
what's
we
the
block him.
percentage?
That he's gonna pay?
Huh?
Oh, the percentage that he was gonna pay for getting him.
Like that system to get somebody's number.
Hey, you know what? It's about a 75% success.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
That's not bad at all.
You know what these companies are doing? They're all Israelis and they have call centers in Israel. And they're just putting a lot of money into advertising. And they,
I got a call center in Nicaragua. We could do
what
something.
I would be trying to do is get a sales team that's in Guatemala, Costa Rica,
I got one.
and create something, a sales team, get that number and create all the leads, because whatever you're gonna pay somebody here weekly.
I got one. I got a sales team. I got the tools. I got everything. We just need to do it. But anyways, so what we could do is, for example, we could. Well, what I would do in your case, I would.
The good thing, check it out. The good thing here is like if we can move everybody in the United States. We already have contacts all over the United States that I'm working with. The companies that I'm working with, I got people that can pick up a load for me right now in New York. You know what I mean? So it's not just me working right now. The network that I'm at, that I'm working with moving companies that could be doing leads for them, and the broker's keeping almost 50% right now out of the job. So
50%?
Yeah,
50%. So you're talking.
Damn.
I did
I'm in the wrong business.
This week I did a move from Phoenix from Albuquerque to Tucson. They charged them like $4,000. They charged me, I kept like $5,000, but they kept $4,000.
So they charge 9,000.
The brokers kept almost 40-50%.
And how do you calculate, for example, like the cost?
I have a website. You go in right now and I'll give you a price right away. You can go inside right now to my website. You can put where you're moving.
You guys don't charge by mile, right?
Huh?
Per
We
load.
charge by pound, by cubic feet, and when the program gives me the whole.
Well, we should talk. I got a whole team. But anyways,
That'd be great. Like the sales team, that's the biggest thing right now, and trying to get that. But the other side is doing the backbone. That's the hard part.
that's the labor part.
The labor part.
But anyways, questions on like the strategy, right? Any questions?
No.
So strategy, and then we do our market. Like we could go take it as far as like, okay, well, they live in El Paso. We said that the
Apartments. You got small
apartments. So are you, for example, what you could do is you could hit up all of the apartment complexes and talk to the property managers and say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna give you a $500 referral fee for everybody that's gonna be moving out, and recommend me.
Especially the apartments for the older people, the elderly, can move out of that apartment into a living.
Yeah, I move a lot of older people to nursing facilities to that. The government's already taking their check out.
So you can go as far as like, for example, on watch. You guys are getting me deep into marketing.
That's all it is, man. Marketing. Cost
El Paso Public Records. So if you go to El Paso Public Records, and then
We got a lot of repos that people are selling that they gotta move out because they lost their house too. Foreclosures and stuff. You see all different stories here. People walking out on their wife. I can make a video. Be like,
so yes, sir. That's another. So for example, you could go to El Paso Public. Well, it loads. You could take on the public records. There's a record that you could show where official public records style, and then it'll be a power of attorney. So why a power of attorney? For the elderly, right? So if what happens is, like when somebody can't make a decision, they gotta go and make a power of attorney in order to
for their money and stuff like that.
yeah to move their money and their assets. So what you could do is you could hit up all of the people that come up in the power of attorneys and see if they're moving. So
And that people that die, sometimes they just go to the state sales. The state goes in and they just sell other stuff.
And they sell it expensive too sometimes.
oh, just bought a sword for $3,000, or how much did it cost? At one of those estate sales. So look, there's guy 1000 South Street, number B, Texas 79901. He Antonia appointed Ruben Venzer. So we want to obviously talk to Ruben, right? All of the above. So more than likely, she probably lived in an apartment, no? Just because it has apartment number B. or a duplex or something, or a 4-unit.
A multifamily.
So we can go to the apartments, public records. What else does
People
our
that are retiring.
retiring,
I get school teachers.
downsizing,
Oh yeah, I've heard of downsizing a lot.
downsizing a lot?
I have a lot of people are moving in together, like all the families moving into one house.
Or the older people that don't want their 2 stories anymore. I've come across that a lot.
So there's ways to buy data that where there's 65 and years older that have a 2-story home in El Paso,
Knee surgeries.
knee surgeries. So questions on marketing. Who would like for me to break down their business and say, hey, well, this is no insurance? No, nobody.
I've done this.
You've done this? Okay. So for example, what would we do when we call somebody? So now we got the strategy. We're saying we need at least one move a day for $5,000. And then whenever we call, what is going to be the strategy? Is it going to be a cold call? Is it going to be a warm call? Do we break down both?
You know, the high-end customers that I'm getting, they don't even want to talk to you anymore. It's online. I get people that I don't even meet. You know, just opening the door and go pick up my stuff and deliver it. That's crazy. It's scary sometimes. You don't know what you're moving.
So are you working with anything in automation?
Yeah. They just leave the keys, you know, go in there, pack all my stuff in.
Are you doing anything with automation?
No.
No? So maybe that's something that you could probably implement in your business where you buy data and then you put it into a CRM. Are you familiar with the CRM?
No, sir.
So
I need to get good reviews. That's the hard part. The people don't put good reviews, they only put the bad reviews. So that.
Give them an incentive to put in.
honestly, we'll break it down a little bit now, a little bit later on the how to get reviews. The beauty of technology.
The big money's in commercial moves right now. That's the killing money right now. Commercial moves are crazy.
So for example, like this little bot dude, like we can just use technology and put like, for example, like text blast people in a timely manner. Like, hey, we'll text 20 people an hour, 30 people an hour, 40 people an hour. And then it picks up, like for example, this one was a conversation with the bot actually. So it was asking if they were interested in selling 122 Encantado Avenue. Yes, it still exists and still available. However, home is a trailer park, so no real property comes with it. And then it connects to ChatGPT. I don't know if you're familiar with what ChatGPT is. It connects to, and then it answers, oh, I understand. I would like for ask you some questions. How much are you asking? Also, can you please share some details on the condition of the property? And then the guy's all texting there, like the response. So, like that's another tool that is gonna be, well, it's already here pretty much. And if you don't hop on the artificial intelligence, that's where it's gonna. The people that hop on into the artificial intelligence are the ones that are gonna succeed because you're crunching time pretty much, right? So we have a strategy where we use, like for example, we find our target. We find our target audience, which is gonna be an older person that lives in a 2-story house, and then they need to move out and they need to sell their property and they need pretty much, right? So whenever we were in business, we never really game planned like a sales strategy, and that's one of the strategies that we use, where it's going to be our greeting, our fact finding, our presentation, our close, and then we have our follow-up with sale and follow-up without sale. So it just depends on what you're doing, if you're doing inbound or outbound. So Jasmine, do you have like a sales process whenever you're selling insurance? What's your sales process look like? What's your sales pitch?
For cold calling, so whenever I talk to the business owner, I tell them that I am a local business owner. I help other businesses access the federal money that is available for the businesses to access funds. And I ask them if they're familiar with the ERC or the PPP loan, so that they kind of get on that mindset that, okay, it's somewhere legit, it's from the federal government. And then I ask them, are you familiar with the premium tax credit that is available for local businesses so that your employees can have free healthcare? And most of the time they say no.
So it's
And then
you
I would see a
So it's you. So for example, like, okay, let's do a little bit of role play. You're gonna call me, I'm the business owner. Ring, ring. Hello?
Hi, is this Jerry?
Yes,
Hi, this is Jasmine. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Do you have a few minutes?
Not really. I'm kind of tied up.
I'll be really quick.
Okay.
So my name is Jasmine. I'm a local business owner. I work with other local businesses. I understand you're the owner?
No.
Okay, I will need to speak with the owner.
Okay. Well, what's your number?
915-929-8188.
Okay, I'll tell them that you called And this is regarding what?
This is regarding federal money that is available for local businesses. If you can please have him give me a call back.
Federal money. Okay, sounds good. I'll pass on the message.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so what can we improve?
To speak to the owner.
Ah,
So know the owner's name so that I can address.
but I am the owner.
Just a rebuttal.
So one of the things that I've always hated was how to get around the gatekeeper, and it wasn't until recently where I figured out, where I learned how to go through the gatekeeper. So one of the things that you need to do is treat the gatekeeper like he's the owner, because you're gonna give him so much pressure, and he's gonna be like, oh well, never mind, here's the owner. You know what I mean? But sometimes we make that assumption. We're like, well, how many calls have you done like that never return your phone call?
I would say a lot.
A lot, right? So that's what's very important. How do you keep your gatekeeper? You treat him like if he was a decision maker, until you give him so much pressure that then he's gonna transfer you to the owner, because they're not able to make those decisions. So we need to focus. Like for example, on a greeting, what I would do is probably be like, "Hi, my name is Jerry." I usually never like to ask, like, "How's your day going?" Because it goes and you start circling around. Like you start here, and you want to be here on a business transaction, and then you're asking like, "Oh, how's your day going? How's your morning? How was traffic? What you have for breakfast?" And then you start like deviating from the conversation, and can you give us an example of how it went whenever you start asking those questions?
I just made a friend instead of making a sale.
Oh yeah, right. You start building relationships, but as a friend, not as a business transaction. So hi, my name is Jerry. The purpose of my call is I wanted to see if you're interested in taking advantage of the federal funding that's available to impact your business and help your employees and save you thousands of dollars. Is that something that might interest you? And I don't even know what you're selling, right? So that'll be a greeting. And then we move over to a fact finding. Once you say yes, we're gonna say, okay, great. Well, let me ask you. And we start digging in like, well, how many employees do you have?
Do you have under 50 employees?
Do you have under 50 employees? Right? Are they currently insured?
I don't talk about the products.
You don't
I
talk about
products until I get the appointment.
Okay.
I don't talk about products to the business owner, only to the employees. Because I strategize with the business owners. They don't care whether it's the solutions that I'm selling.
So I'm a business owner, right? And I'd like to know what somebody else is gonna come into my business and talk about.
Then I'll do the presentation.
Why not? Why are you circling
They
around?
won't give me the appointment. They'll think they know because I told them. They'll be like, oh, okay, I know what you wanted. No. You know, so I'm like, oh, I just need 20, 40 minutes in your calendar with mornings or afternoons.
Okay, so do you need the business owner to approve?
To sit down with me.
To sit down with you? But for example, like you can't just offer it to I guess the public in general, or does it have to be under a company?
I do individual, but if I go for one, when I can go for 50.
When you can go so they need to be over 50 or less than 50?
Less than 50, that's my market. I can do over, but then it's a whole nother spiel.
You need more employees.
I think we need I think, well, to what and this is what I'm listening to. I'm listening like we're going round and round, and you don't give me the correct answer for the product that you're selling. So if I don't know what you're selling, I'm not gonna buy from you. And I'm just being straight honest with you. Like this is what I'm listening, and I'm a business owner, and I have companies that have less than 50 employees and more than 50 employees, and it might be a solution for my employees, but I still don't understand what the product is.
Well, the products are, how can I say this, are secondary. The primary thing is funneling the federal funds to the employees through the company.
Okay, the federal funds are funneling money.
Funneling the money through the company. So this becomes a solution that the positioning is the employers are making the decision to help the employees get the education, get the financial literacy, get their ducks all in a row through bringing us.
Okay, so is it kind of like that Aflac product that they sell?
Yes and no. Yeah, so that's part of the secondary thing.
So how does your customer benefit from your product?
Health insurance, life and disability.
Health insurance, life, and disability. Health insurance, life and disability.
So, there's certain programs that the government offer, however, they're funneled through employees because you need to have employees in order to be able to offer that product, like, I'm assuming.
They can be individual, but there is a clause on the IRS document that it's specified for small businesses.
So for example, like me as a business owner, do I need to pay for the insurance? Okay, great. Do the employees pay? Do they pay like just a small portion? Like one of those $29 products?
Yeah,
Yeah?
if they want to, yeah.
Okay, and then they get visual, dental, and health and stuff like that. Okay, well, that's probably, that would probably be my greeting. Hey, Mr. Charles. The purpose of my call was wondering to see if you're interested in having your employees have insurance without costing you out of pocket, money out of pocket.
That sounds very interesting.
That sounds very interesting. Oh, great. How many employees do you have?
Under 50?
Under 50? Oh my God, you're the perfect candidate. Is today at 3 o'clock in the afternoon a great time to visit your business so we can discuss on how to keep your employees motivated through health insurance and through our similar products? At 3 o'clock in the afternoon?
Yeah, that's fine.
Perfect. So your address is still at 1522 Montana?
Yes.
All right, we'll see you there, Mr. Charles.
All right, sounds good.
Is it okay if I text you my picture?
Don't text me.
Okay, great. A picture of my face so you can recognize me. Well, hey, you know what? It's true. Like you can use technology nowadays, but we don't use it. We refuse to use it. So it's basically that. Well, I feel that would be a good picture. Be like, hey, you know what? Like, do you want your employees to be insured with no money out of your own pocket?
And you know what? Even if she gets somebody who's not the owner, if she says something like that, that person could be like, well, you know, I don't have insurance. Yeah, I mean, let me get him this information. Or all of us don't have insurance. Yeah, he needs to hear this. Let me get this to him. Let me have him call you back.
You know what, and if it's local, I would want to include, and the best part of this is that we're a local company. You know, because a lot of times you get calls from people that are freaking, I don't know where.
Out of state.
Yeah, out of state, you just want to hang up on them because you're like, man.
Oh, I get
When
it.
they're local, it's like, okay, well, maybe they want to support the local.
So that's what I say. I'm a local business owner, just like you know, so I'm at their level. I'm not, just an agent. I'm a business strategist. That's what I do.
Okay. So do you think that like trying it like that with the business owner would help you out?
So that's why, I mean, and it's going back to like what you said. You kind of said in a couple of sentences what I do, but literally if that doesn't work. Like if I called you as a business owner and I told you, hey, I'm selling insurance and it won't cost you anything, are you in? Yeah, really.
I'd like to hear it. I mean, I don't know. You have employees. Who had employees? Would you like to hear it?
I would like, heck yeah, if it's not gonna cost me money, it's gonna cost them. It's gonna something that they don't have. And if one of my guys break their arm, instead of me paying for it, has insurance.
And they can focus on their job because now they have health insurance, they'll become better employees.
Health insurance.
The benefits.
What is it, the counseling as well, they covers that, you know?
The what?
When you have those type of coverages, you also have,
Dental and stuff like that.
It's part of what you started the class with. Do you want employees to be
Engaged or
Yeah, so that's the conversation once I sit down with the business owner, is like, whenever something's going on at home, or if the child is sick, the wife is sick, you only get people's fingertips. You don't get their whole mind, heart, and they're not fully invested because there's something going on that is not letting them settle. Medical bills, and no access to health.
or just in bills in general? That's one struggle. That's crazy. So basically what we're doing is here, okay, we're structuring we went from our strategizing, the $5,000 per move. Now we're strategizing on how do we pitch our deals, right? Like what's our structure? Like having a structure is very important. How does it make the sale easier or no?
oh yeah, that way it's more fluid and more.
So if I promise you, like, and I've tried it, whether it's gonna be, I sell tires, I've sold automotive services, I've sold houses, I've sold people that want to invest money with us. I've sold myself to buy houses, and by following the structure, like you'll see a big difference on the way that just that the deal flows, right? So fact finding, once we go into our fact finding, is like, okay, well, great. Why would you want health insurance? So for example, this would be more like on the part wherever you're presenting, like your health insurance, or you're presenting a real estate deal, or you're presenting a roof, or you're presenting to buy a property, or you're presenting to buy a move, right? Or if you're presenting to do like, for example, like hard money, we're by doing stuff like that is that we're selling ourselves to get a customer. So question number one that I always like to ask is going to be why. So let me ask you, Mr. Armando, why are you looking to move?
Because I want to retire.
Because you
Going
want
to Miami and retire out there.
to. Must be nice. You're going to Miami.
Buy a little condo, little boat, and just retire.
Okay. Well, have you ever moved in the past before?
Yes,
Where'd you move from?
and I have a lot of bad experience.
What was your experience like?
The movers broke all my stuff.
Oh my God. The movers broke all your stuff.
Rest assured.
Was it? I'm pretty sure your furniture was pretty expensive, huh? How much did you have invested into your furniture?
Probably have like $500,000 in paintings.
Oh my God. $500,000 in painting, they're probably worth what, 750 to $1 million today? $500,000? Well, no, that's when he bought them, $500,000 in paintings.
And
But now they're
a
appreciated.
lot more.
There's probably a lot more now.
Money. I just
And
moved a guy from California. I was gonna move him down to Miami, and I moved him to Brazil.
And you moved them to
and
Brazil.
The guy just had paintings like crazy.
That's crazy. That's pretty
Brazil.
interesting. I always wanted to be an artist. So,
I get all kinds of clients.
I mean, I spray paint once in a while here. So what was your experience like? So what would you like, for your example, like your new moving company to do that your old moving company didn't
I
do?
want them to come in and wrap everything, create all my pictures, create boxes for all my pictures, not just put them a blanket or cardboard. I want a crate for each one.
Well, great. You came to the right place. We could do all that for you and more. So the reason that you should move with us, the price of the moving is probably going to cost you somewhere in the neighborhood of about $50,000 to $100,000. It depends on the weight or whatever we do. So we come up with the price first, right? That's the whole point. And we got to be assertive. The price to move you is going to be $100,000. And the reason that it's $100,000 is because we're going to come in here. We're going to create all of your pictures, like you said. We're going to take pictures and we're going to film. How much does a one of those Wise cameras cost? You probably put like, they're $27 at Home Depot. You could buy like maybe about 10 of them and with an SD card and then put them all over the house. And then you could record all of your movers.
No, we take pictures, like we see damages, we take pictures. And the bad problem is that us, like, when I start working, I know I'm going over a little bit over I'm going a little bit over the conversation that we don't value our business. You know, it's like I moved this lady, I should have charged her $50,000. And I only charged her $25,000.
Because you're giving away money?
I just gave it away. I didn't know, you know what I mean? It's like, it's hard to, I'm getting bigger clients, but now I'm learning how to charge more, you know?
But it's because we're lacking on the presentation, we're not giving enough
Exactly.
value.
Exactly.
So it's like, okay, well, the reason that I'm charging you $50,000 is because we're gonna create all of your art paintings, we're gonna take pictures and prior video to make sure that we assess all the damages, and we also carry an insurance that'll cover you if we damage anything to your ¿cómo se dice en los muebles?
Well, we cover 60 cents
I was
per
gonna say
pound.
vehicles.
We already covered 60 cents per pound. If they want to get additional insurance, then we have additional insurance. You know,
Well, price them with insurance or with 100% insurance?
It's expensive.
Are you gonna pay it?
Well, they're good. That's what you gotta tell them. You know, it's like, and then the DOT, you have to follow all this other paperwork. It's not just, you know, everything has to be in writing. When I go inside the house, I have to do inventory of every single thing. If something's scratched.
Do you charge for the inventory?
No.
Or
I have to do it. It's good. What happens
you
is
should
the
charge.
DOT when it's different when you're like a little ghost company. You just throw stuff in the back of a truck. When we go in, I gotta have all this federal papers in. If something's missing, you know, it's a whole different ballgame with insurance and stuff like that. So that's why it's like which client, every little dot. If this table has a scratch, I got around table scratch right hand side.
Well, it's something that you should charge. Just try adding it in there. I mean,
Yeah.
people will pay.
Well, yeah, I mean, people pay. I mean,
But it all boils down on the presentation, right? So, for example, like, okay, we're gonna do X, Y, and Z. We first.
if I would have a better presentation, people are not afraid to pay because whoever's gonna do that move, they have the money to do it.
So, in this case, the product is gonna be the moving service, and then our company, right? This is what we need to describe, and we need to give value. So we have a value and price. Yeah, price and value curve. So how likely is it to have an exchange of money for a service here?
Very good.
Very likely.
There's a lot of people that want to go with the cheapest, but there's a lot of people that just want a good service. You know?
So
And that's what I'm trying.
this is what we're normally doing, where we give our value. This is our value, and then how does the price look? Because on our presentation,
To make the value.
If I just go in the house, I know I can get the deal done because now I know what to sell. You know what I mean? When I go inside a house, I used to no sabía nada. But now when I go into a house, look, I'm gonna wrap all your furniture. I'm gonna put blankets in every single furniture of yours. I'm gonna wrap everything up. So there's a lot of people that have moved already. If you start learning their language, now they know what you're talking about.
so how much more value would you bring if you do sort of like one of those bubble wraps?
It's a lot more money. Just bubble wrap, blankets, everything shin wrap. You know, it gets.
I mean, if I wanted to move, I would be like, if you're putting blankets on my stuff, like I would rather have like the bubble.
Customers receive. You say you take pictures. Do you show them to them?
Yes.
Like if you video you're moving, will you show them how you move their stuff?
I don't do that, but when I get yes,
Right way?
I give them videos and stuff what I'm gonna do and stuff.
So for only $10,000 a month, we could film all of your. Just kidding. So, anyways, so we're going to we're doing our value, right? So, okay, we're gonna wrap your furniture. We have our staff that are young and strong. We got state-of-the-art trucks. We have we're taking pictures and inventory. We're doing videos aside from the pictures. We're gonna put them in saran wrap. We're gonna create all of your artwork. So now, how does the price look?
Looks a lot smaller compared to what you're getting for it.
See, so now that our value looks big, but and then our price looks small. Same thing for insurances. Same thing if you're like for a roof or if you're doing hard money and stuff like that. It's all the same thing. How do we increase our value to make our price look smaller? And then we're gonna add a little step here. And we're gonna say, on a scale from 1 through 10, Mr. Customer, how do you feel about moving with us? Choosing us as your moving company.
Yeah, once those clients opens the door, you can sell them all kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff, you know, because you're inside their house.
So, Mr. Armando, how do you feel about moving with our company?
I'm not too sure.
On a scale from 1 through 10, how do you feel?
I want to see your reviews. Do you have any customers that you have moved before that I can get a feedback from them?
Sure, definitely. I got here John's number. I moved them yesterday. We do a $5,000 to $10,000 move every day.
Perfect.
I always get those reviews, man. Those are super valuable.
Yeah.
I mean,
So how soon are you looking to move?
I'm looking to move by the end of the month.
By the end of the month. Okay, great. So on a scale from 1 through 10, how do you feel?
I feel like an 8.
Like an 8? Okay.
Is there any discount you can give me?
I don't have enough money. I don't have money to give away, sir. I mean, what we could do is the following, right? So I already told you
That's the price.
this is the price, and then
And how
this
long
is,
is it going to take you to deliver my stuff?
well, where am I going from?
From El Paso to Miami?
Oh, that's probably gonna, so what we do is the first day is we're gonna load up the truck, and it's probably gonna take me about 2 days, and then I gotta ask for permits, and then by the time the truck gets there, it's gonna take about a week, so I give it about 10 days more or less. To be the safe side.
With all our federal contracts, I have 30 days to deliver. So when I pick you up, I have 30 days legally to deliver. Now, if you want you move fast, like your own truck, your own stuff, we charge them expedite. We charge like $5,000 just to expedite.
Okay, great. Well, instead of costing you $50,000, Mr. Customer, now I'm gonna give you a bigger problem. I'm saying, I told you originally that it was 50, and if time is of an essence for you, this is gonna take 30 days, but because you're moving from here and you want it quick, I'm gonna add in 10 days, and it'll be an increase of $10,000. Would you like me to add that?
We can't add more. We can only hit where we have 5,000. We're regulated. Like I can't just show up to your house and charge you more money. You know.
Well, no, because
and the good thing is already on the paperwork.
Well,
I can do 5,000.
We're gonna do $5,000 for the moving, and then I'm gonna get you another $5,000.
Well, anyways, there is ways of making more money.
Yeah, there is
We
ways
just
of
gotta
making
be
more money.
creative about it.
So it's just gonna be creative, right? So, but the whole idea is we gotta bring in the value in order for us to make the price look smaller.
Yeah, and even though if it's already paying you 50,000, you can tell, hey, you know what, discount. I'm gonna give you the 5,000 off. Just give me the 50,000.
You'd be surprised if you say I can't give you any more money. You'll be surprised people say yes. But we have that mentality where it's like, okay, we gotta give discounts. We gotta give discounts. We gotta give. Be like, I don't have enough money to give you.
you're devaluing.
Do you get discounts, Charles? Do you give discounts?
No, that's why. How? I don't have any discounts.
Yeah, I know. But we're like, because us in our mind, we don't want to go through the struggle of arguing, not arguing, but like debating with the customer and say, if he says, I know, tell me it's expensive.
It's expensive.
I know it's expensive.
Okay, good point.
But that's all it is. But we never practice it. Just try practicing. Like, yeah, I know it's expensive. You know it's expensive. Jesus Christ! Like, but how do you feel? Do you still want to move
It is
forward?
high in price, but because the value is high, I'm doing you a service. I'm gonna.
I just say it's expensive. Sometimes we sell ourselves out of deals because we don't shut up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
keep talking.
We just keep talking.
Yeah.
Like,
I learned to be quiet now.
so go again. Like, say it's expensive.
It's expensive.
I know it's expensive.
It's a shitload.
It's a shitload of money.
Can you save me some money, someone?
I don't have any money to give you, sir.
Okay, I'm the one that has the money. That's
You're the one that has the money.
because I'm buying everything.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you already did your research and you have a ballpark figure of what's it going to cost, right?
Okay, I mean it's more than I was expecting though.
I know. I mean, we could expedite it for another $5,000 more.
How much expedition though?
It'll be, so instead of delivering it in 30 days, it'll be in 10 days.
20 days sooner?
20 days sooner.
Yeah. Okay, sweet. I have all my stuff. 20 days sooner?
20 days sooner.
All right.
I would need
How much do
5,000
you want
cash
to charge me?
without-
I just told you it was for the low price of $5,000 in extra addition.
Okay, yeah, man, that's not bad.
And something like that, I just send a straight truck because I don't want a truck just waiting there to another load. So they give me the 5,000.
But the thing is, like,
we're
we're like, for not arguing, we're always giving money away. Oh, give me a $5,000 discount. I'm like, oh fuck, I don't have $5,000 to give you.
It's not in the budget.
Yes. So we go to our close. So have you seen enough to make a decision, sir?
Yes.
Great. Sign right here. We're gonna put in a Visa, American Express, MasterCard,
American.
debit, American Express. Thank you, sir. So you just make them sign, right? And you'd be surprised on how this shit does work, pretty much. I didn't think it worked, but like after being in sales for, what was it, like maybe about 15 years? 15 years in sales? Going back to, for example, like on your follow-up to get your reviews with the sale. Follow up with the sale, right? So for example, whenever you close on somebody, are we calling them, be like, hey, Mr. Customer, I just wanted to thank you for your business, and can you leave me a Google review?
Yeah. So a lot of clients are good, but there's the good ones won't write nothing, you know.
Force it to
Yeah, be like, hey, you know what, Mr. Customer, my name is Jared, is calling, following up to make sure that everything goes okay. Is everything okay, Mr. Armando?
No,
It's not? Okay, well, great. Well, let me know what seems to be the issue.
you guys broke my lamp, my chandelier.
The chandelier?
You guys didn't look at it, put a chair and they broke it.
Well, how can we fix this?
Yes, I need $1,000.
You need $1,000? Okay, great. Let me do an insurance claim. They usually pay 60 cents per pound.
You know.
So basically, you're at least trying to get it with
Oh
them
yeah, no, I try to
solving
fix
the issue.
everything.
You're trying to fix it, right?
Yeah,
And why not, like, so?
Or else they send you to the DOT and that's when it gets crazy. You know what I mean? So before I have a problem, I'd rather just fix it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so you fix the problem here, and then you ask for, like, simply, hey, you know what, we apologize for the inconvenience, we're gonna make it right. And then by any chance, do you know anybody else that might benefit from our services?
Yeah.
Great. Well, do you have a number we can reach them at?
Yeah.
So then we're just asking for referrals, and it starts piling up. But
And that's why
a lot of us don't make that phone call. A lot of the sales reps don't make that phone call, where like we're asking for referrals, or I guess the second money you could say. For example, like do you call all of your customers that you insure and tell them like, hey, do you know anybody else that might benefit from this?
Or you get a ton of referrals.
You get a ton of
That's
referrals.
like 50% of the
50% of your-
sales come from referrals.
Okay, and then how many times are you reaching out to your database?
At least every 2 or 3 months. But with health insurance, there's a ton of service. They are calling me a lot.
Busy. So there shouldn't be any reason why you should make $1 million in insurance this year.
Do we have a review system?
Do we have a review system
Yeah, for us. Like
for us?
Yelp or Google or something like. Let's say we did good and somebody wants to leave a review.
We had, but not with the old company, but not with the new one. Update that part, like on the Google or Wild Wild West.
A lot of people go with you just because you have good reviews.
Yeah, see, and that's what.
That's what these brokers do. They just put all this fake reviews and they put all this. The brokers are the ones.
They do. They pay people just to put, hey, cousin, sister, brother, whatever.
And I don't, you know,
Oh yeah, there's services for that. You haven't seen it?
No, there's service that though.
So there's this thing called Fiverr. Oh, they removed them. They spell reviews.
That's right.
So all these freelancers, it's like basically, have you guys used Fiverr? Topic. But anyways, so we go to our follow-ups, and then follow-up without a sale. It's 2% of sales are closed within our first attempt, and then 80 to 90% of sales happen between our 5th and 12th attempt. So it's not the first one that follows up, it's the last one that follows up, because most of the salespeople are gonna give up between the 3rd and the 5th call. So whoever follows up last is gonna be the one that's gonna be closing the sale, pretty much, right? Questions so far? Everybody's falling asleep, Bravo. No questions? None? 2% of sales are closed in the first attempt, and then it's gonna be 8% are closed between the 3 to the 5th attempt, and then the 6 through the 9 is gonna be another 10%, and then 80% of sales are closed between the 8th and 12th attempt.
So what changes?
The
other than
decision
you
on the customer?
insisting- Yeah,
Huh?
other than you insisting, like, what changes other than the circumstances, you know, like, why would they wanna pursue something like that after 5, 6, 7, 8?
Because then maybe sometimes they don't have enough information. People take time to make a decision,
Are they
so.
gonna call other companies to get a code too?
So as a consumer, how many times do you, or how many places do you shop around to buy something?
Me?
Just one?
Yeah, I don't have a lot of time. So I
Okay.
get all my stuff.
So, for example, who here purchases on the first time? I usually quote 3 to 4 different places to see what are the differences between companies. And most of the people that I know focus on, maybe they quote like 3. They shop around 3 times. So it might be because they need to go from one place to another to get quotes. So that might change the decision on the product. Like, is it the right fit for me? And there's 3 reasons why people don't buy a product, right? It's either because it's a issue with the product that they don't like, it's a money problem, or they're not the decision makers.
Okay, you look at the reviews.
I don't look at the reviews, I mean, but I go more with like intuition. Pero there's nowadays it's the new word of mouth. Any questions? No? That's all I got for today. I hope you guys learned something. And then going back to, well, I was gonna answer your hard money question. So earlier he said he wanted to be a hard money lender. That was one of his goals. So basically what they're doing is you're calculating interest on a yearly basis, right? And this is where hard money lenders make their money. Say for example, you're lending out an average house in El Paso, $150,000, right? And they're gonna say, well, not 200, but anyways, hard money lender is gonna lend up to 65%. So how much is 65%? And that's out of the topic. This is just to answer one of his questions. 97,500. So basically what the hard money lender is saying is like, I'll lend you $97,500 on a property that's worth $150,000. So what kind of risk is he taking? Well, he's not taking a risk, right? It's just like, well,
Yeah.
because he's lending. So the investor or the person that's doing the project is going to have to come up with this gap. How he makes his money is, number one, it's going to be on points or origination fees that run anywhere from 3 to 5% of the amount of the loan. In this case, we'll say it's going to be a 4%. How much money does he make?
That's 4%.
Yeah,
$3,900.
$3,900 in origination. His cost is going to be about 1%, which is going to be 975. So his
975, yeah.
975. So his profit is going to be about 2,000. How much is it?
975 plus.
No,
39.
minus.
2975, yeah.
So this is a profit, just straight from the rip. He pays 1% for originations, and he's charging 4. Number 2 is going to be, if he lends out 97,500, current market rate on hard money is probably going to be about 13%. So if we take it percentage wise, we look at an amortization calculator. No, I'm sorry, a mortgage calculator. So he's lending out 97,500, and he's lending it out at 13%. So he's collecting 1,079 income per month, and his cost is going to be probably prime plus 1, which is probably going to be a 6 plus 1 right now. It's going to be a 7. So his cost of money is going to be $649 on a monthly basis. How much is that? 1049 for what?
No, yeah,
Minus
430.
649.
For what?
430.
430 is going to be his cash flow. So he's collecting $430 on cash flow and making $29.75 on the front end. So the bigger play is going to be if you were able to do what he's doing is he's borrowing the $97,500 from the bank. In some cases if they have the money, well, they have the money.
Would that be off of a line of credit or just straight up?
Yeah, there's banks that do projects like that. Like depends on your credit or lines of credit or.
So is that, I guess another question is that how you would start, is through the bank? Unless you got the 97.5 with you. If
Yeah.
you don't have $97,500, you can go through the bank and.
No, I mean what you could do is you could just broker it out. You can broker somebody else's money.
You wouldn't wanna use would you wanna use all your money on that, or would you try to?
Me?
Like you personally?
Me personally, I know I could probably make more money flipping houses or buying and selling, but I'm more like that's more on the passive side.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I would do is I would probably take those 97,500, and I know I could probably double them like in 40 days, 60 days, somewhere.
Is that what BRR method?
No, it'll be through transactions. So you buy a house and sell it, buy a house and sell it. There's another way would be so if you have if you're liquid, what I would start off with is number one. I got to look at it. Do I have the money or do I don't have the money? So do you have the 100,000?
No.
Okay, how liquid are you? Zero. Okay, so what I would do is I would look for I would look for people that are interested in buying properties. It's gonna be these are the guys that are usually flippers. These are the guys that are gonna need your product, right? This is gonna be your audience or your customers or whatever. And then there's two ways. I would find other hard money lenders, or I would find people that need to invest their money, like doctors or business owners or lawyers, right? So I would be the middleman right here. So whenever somebody needs money, I have resources to go to and say, hey, you know what? I already pre-negotiated a deal with this guy. We're lending out the money at 12%. He charges 2 points of origination. Okay, are you comfortable with me tacking another 2 points to make the origination fees? So you start building your portfolio of customers, and then you're just upcharging. Instead of charging 4 points, you're gonna charge 6 points. So how much is 2% of 97,500? It's like $2,000. 1950. So you would make 1950 out of that transaction. If you're over here, you could say, hey, you know what? I'm building a fund. I could give you 6% return on your money. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put it into real estate projects. I'm probably gonna put it into a CD first, where it starts cash flowing, maybe 3-4% until we put the money until we deploy the money into a project. That's when we're gonna give you the 6% return. So then now here, what you're gonna do is you're gonna sell the money for 12 or 13%. You obviously know that your cost is 6%. You don't have any origination fees, so you could charge anywhere from 4 to 6% origination fees of whatever you lend, and then you secure it by a first lien position.
What do you mean by that?
So you lend it out on a first lien position on the house. So meaning like you're gonna lend it. Yeah, so you're controlling the money, and then you're just lending it out to individuals, but then you still have a responsibility to pay these guys their 6% on a monthly basis, which is sometimes better than the stock market, because the stock market, well, according to the conversation we were having earlier, they were losing 10% on a yearly basis. Yes, sir.
I mean, according to your experience, so say if one starts to get investors, right? Is there any legal paperwork you need to have, or does it have to be structured a certain way? Example, say I have 5 investors, right? To invest like $50,000 each.
Do you know them? Are they accredited investors?
Are they what?
Accredited investors? Do they make over? There's like a specification. They have to make like 250.
Business owners, but I guess-
Accredited investors means that they have tons and tons of millions of dollars.
No, it's just $1 million. It's $1 million. They have a net worth of over $1 million, or they make $200,000 a year.
Yeah.
But
Is that fine? So that to put it into your company, but do you need to structure it a certain way, or?
I would probably go to an attorney. I mean, there's simple ways. I try to keep the paperwork as simple as possible. If you're going to start marketing it out where you're looking for investors, you need to be kind of careful, because the SEC is going to hunt down on you, and they're going to probably arrest you and throw you in jail. But there's ways of structuring, right, where you could open up an LLC and say, hey, you know what, I'm gonna sell out shares of my company. That's going to cost you $50,000 a piece, and then your return is going to be the total sum of your returns is going to be a 6%. Or you could do a joint venture where your operating agreement says, hey, you know what, well, this is the purpose of people putting in money into this company, where everybody's going to get 6% of the return, or 6% of profits, or whatever. And so there's a couple of attorneys that are probably going to cost you. I'm looking to start a new fund. The first fund that we built was like $12,000 or something like that. That was a 504B. That's for like the ones that friends and family or people that you know that are accredited investors could invest into. And then we're looking at other structures. The other one's going to be more of a kind of like the LLC that I was telling you. The LLC that I was telling you, where we kind of sell shares, and that one's a lot cheaper. It's like $2,000 or something. No, not even 2,000. I think it was like 1,000. But that's how I would start pretty much. I don't know if I answered your question. And all you have to do is like just look at money as a tool. Do you know anybody that wants to invest?
I might have a coworker.
More or less, how much money are they interested in lending?
I don't know, he's been doing flipping houses for a while. He's always doing the same thing, like portfolio.
So that's
He's the one that told me about this.
yeah. So I mean, ask him and be like, hey, like, I found a guy that's looking for hard money or for how liquid are you? And it's just like it's just asking about the numbers, but sometimes we get uncomfortable with asking those hard questions. But I mean, we're always looking for money because no matter how much money you have in the real estate world, it's like it goes like that, just passes by. It's just a matter of how much you keep in the middle, right? Next week we're gonna have the real estate one where we discuss more on the whatever you guys want. We could discuss rentals. We usually the first section we discussed flips, and then we discussed creative finance, and then we're probably we could probably discuss funding a deal on next Tuesday. If you guys are more than welcome to come. That one does get packed. That one last time we had like 20 people or something here. But yeah, thank you guys for coming. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out.
Thank you.
Hope you learned something. Hope it was worth your while.